In this very developed world, everyone has a hard time suiting their own self with what skills can they possibly achieve, with what they actually want to be in the future, what major they want to take. And even until they find it out, then it is already too late for them because not only do they have the basic of it will cause them to be much more stressed because they do not have the basic of it, and then they do not have any idea of what major they want to take in the future. So as government, we believe that everyone deserves to acknowledge their own ability ever since they were a high schooler so that they can prepare their own self in the future in their colleges level. So just first thing first, let us make it clear that what does high schooler means. So basically, high schoolers means that an individual that is still developing with their own work, with variety interest in their mind, but a very uncertain future because they are not sure that if they what they are actually interested in or what they're actually good at. So that's why we are afraid that every children in the future cannot reach the best version of their own self. So two crucial things in our status quo is that first of all, the unfitable subject for students in high school, even in high school, because the fact is that our children have to keep studying every basic knowledges that they do not even correlate with what they actually are not even capable of studying a lot of these subjects. So this actually even happens in colleges because that's why we have to make sure that they are actually certain for their own future. And second of all, the wrong direction of life caused by it. Because of us keep studying and stressed by all of these basic knowledges in our high schooler level, then we finally end up in the wrong direction of life as what we'll explain much more deeper in our argument. So our stance and goal is that we want everyone to be the best version of their own self, obviously. We want everyone to finally be able to achieve their future greatly. So however, this debate happens because of the lack ability of one side to fit in the status quo because of how much people are actually live in a very bad future just because they do not know of what they are actually capable of and which major they actually want to take. So two things in models just to not make it a distortion. So first of all, every children in high school will finally be much more focused in their detected talent because obviously with us already knowing what talent do we have, then we are most likely have to focus in this very part. And that's why it is good because without forcing them to do what they're good at, then they are finally sure of what future they will going to take. And then second of all, in this world, every job is finally at the same standard. Why can this happen? Because with us acknowledging our own skill, then there's no possibilities of want to finally be in a low standard jobs anymore, like a dustman. Because where this kind of because obviously with us already knowing what future we will have, what major we are going to take, then this kind of job will just not occur in our mind anymore. But however, this kind of job will for sure be replaced by technology in the end of the day in this developing status quo. And at the end of the day, this is very good because our life is not based on a standard job anymore. Not based on a standard anymore, but based on how hard do we actually want to work in our own measure. That's why it's very good in our side because we finally receive a fairness in this status quo. So let me just jump to my first argument. So why is this very justified? Firstly, as a student with 6 years left before traveling in the open world, they have the right to start doing what they are actually capable of. They have the right to acknowledge what they are actually good at. Whereas we're afraid that with us not forcing them to do so, basically means that we are making them not sure of their own future. We are making them not sure of what they are going to take and what they want to be in the future. Then second layer is that how can this actually affect globally? With the whole resident joining this idea, we have simply removed the fog sluggish or being lazy, where everyone already acknowledging their own abilities can finally become a motivation for them to even work harder for any circumstances. And then those who actually have no interest in studying have finally found their motive to try harder to achieve the best level because they know that they are actually capable of, they know that they are good at this, they know they have the ability for this, and that's why they have the right to actually study. They have the right for their mind to wanting to study this, and at the end of the day, they can finally achieve the best level they want, and this can only happen in our model. And then third layer, and as the most important part, is the future. How can we measure of their own future? So how can we so sure of building their own future with our status quo? The op might say that what if they actually interested in something they do not have the abilities for? What if we are smart enough to be eligible at other major? But however, we believe that this will not happen in our side because first of all, we close the possibilities to be in others major to be in others part of life and our certain life. And then second of all, with them focusing on their acknowledged ability, they will end up being happy to do it anyway. Because obviously with them only focusing on one side, then they will most likely be enjoying all of their part of life in the same things. That is good for them because they're already sure of their future, but they can also be happy of it. And however, we also believe that the bigger burden in this motion is how can we measure of one future, and this will most likely not happen in the other side of side because we have implanted their suitable studies even in high school. So at the end of the day, children will always be interested in what profession they are actually going to take, and this is very good for their own self. And also, this will not happen in our status quo since everyone's standard is finally based on how hard they work for it and creating no possibilities to actually be failed in their own measure, but with their own very deserved level. And at the end of the day, we have finally deserved and we have convinced them to finally study harder for their own self. Now, second of all, second argument is that why does it actually bring more good than harm? First layer is that we believe that even after elementary school, every student always get most of the basic knowledge in their life, and they do not have any intention to actually go deeper for every subject anymore, because this will only causes them to be as very much more fatigued in the future, while all of them will just strive for grades, which is not enjoyable for every children, for every high schooler especially. And this is something that everyone always expect them to be to be gone because they do not even enjoy. They do not enjoy studying what they are actually studying, and that's why everyone deserve it. Deserve this to happen. And with us implanting this to children, not only we have solved the fatigue and burden of doing things that we do not enjoy, but we also save their childhood and do what they are actually capable of. And then second layer is that how our system actually doesn't work right now. Status quo is that even after graduating high school, a lot of children still struggle to pick the right major for their own self. And this will cause them to be much more stressed because of their absence of life goal. They do not know of what they actually want to be in the future and who is responsible of this, and then obviously no one. That's why the government had to make sure for us to actually study even in high school of what we actually want to measure. So third layer is that how can we measure of our happiness? So obviously it is clear that with this happening, every student will be in the same class with others that have the same abilities who have interest with you. So in high school you can finally have a right life and you can have finally a right friends. And then at the end of the day, what we should care for is the children's future life. We want to make sure none of us will be broke or even homeless in the future. We want the world to finally achieve the prosperous life with this very idea. And that's why I'm very proud to propose. Thank you.